Hello and welcome back to episode 2 of the Chicago White Sox March to October on MLB The Show 22. And hold on. Before you do anything else, this is episode 2, which means you're probably coming from and enjoyed episode 1. So before you do anything, stop and hit that subscribe button for me. We're still a ways out, man, but every subscriber helps, and I'm really shooting for that 1,000 subscriber mark. So that's why I bring it up here at the beginning of episode 2, because like I said, most likely you watched episode 1. You wouldn't have gone on to episode 2 if you didn't enjoy it. So if you did enjoy it and you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because it's only episode 2. Who knows how many episodes there's going to be of this White Sox March to October. So you don't want to miss it. But let's get things started here for episode 2, talking about the trade management section and also a couple things I didn't quite notice, which actually we'll start with that first. So here on the lineup screen, I think I mentioned having Eloy start against lefties because he would be better than Josh Harrison, but what I didn't realize is he's actually better than Josh Harrison against righties too. Not by a ton. I mean, you're comparing 63 contact to 62 and 40 power to 37. The fielding on Eloy is a little lower, but he makes up for it with some speed. So I'm actually going to be having Eloy as our everyday starter. Josh Harrison is just as much a utility player as Eloy is. I mean, the only position Eloy can play that Harrison can't is center, but we got Engel anyway coming off the bench. And there's actually an argument to be made that Harrison would be better playing in his secondary positions. With him having 10 more fielding, he'd be a silver badge wherever he goes. So I just think this is the good move for now. We'll have to wait and see, how it pans out. Maybe Eloy sucks. Maybe he is only good against lefties, and maybe we try Harrison at some point in the future, but this is just what I'm going with for now. Another thing I noticed is they still have 4 lineup screens. It didn't even dawn on me in episode 1 cycling through them, but we still have the 2 no DH lineups. So I don't know if that means we're still not going to have a DH when we play in a National League park. I don't know if they didn't make that change for some reason. Hopefully they did. Hopefully we have a DH wherever we go, and they just kind of forgot to take those no DH lineups off of the menu. But again, we'll just have to wait and see on that one. So let's talk about the trade management screen. We kind of touched on it in the last episode, but I believe the only thing we need to seek out to improve this team this year is pitching. So I have starting pitcher, relief pitcher, closing pitcher, and actually I guess we should go back and look at the pitching rotation. I have starting pitcher in there because I could see Keuchel definitely being a weakness, and I don't really trust Lopez or Velasquez to step into a starting role. I don't know, I could just see Keuchel as C potential 34 starting to decline and maybe it hitting him hard, and if it does, it'd be nice to trade for a new guy. I think the rest of our rotation's fine, especially over the long term, which we do have to think about this year, but our bullpen is definitely a weakness. We touched on it, but we have 4 guys in the 60s, which is not ideal. We also only have 1 lefty out there, so we're primarily at this point looking for left-handed relief pitchers. Because another guy I didn't even realize, I completely forgot in real life too that Joe Kelly was injured to start the season, which kind of sucks because I don't know how long he'll even be out. But in terms of the March to October, with how it seems to have worked in the past, if he's not on the opening day roster, we're not going to get to call him up. I guess unless we get a special call-up opportunity and he happens to be the one. But unless that happens, I guess this first season will be Joe Kelly-less. At least it's not Lance Lynn-less, though. We started this March to October just in time. Alright, so continuing on trade management, I just, put in left-handed and right-handed pitcher. Players to target, we're pretty much just targeting at this point left-handed relievers. It's always tough at the beginning of the season to know what teams aren't going to be good, what teams are going to look to be sellers. So I don't know. The Angels, I have no idea if they're going to be good or bad, but, Loop's an older guy. They might be paying him a little bit more than they'd want. I don't know. If things don't work out for them early, maybe they look to move him. I doubt it, but he just kind of stood out to me a little bit. Not many people really stood out to me a ton. But then I also put AJ Minter in there because looking at the Braves, their bullpen is stacked. I mean, they got all these guys in the relief pitcher position. They also have a 4th lefty down here. He's not as good, but he's still a lefty on the team. But then they also have Kirby Yates and Kenley. So maybe at this point, Minter wouldn't be as valuable as of a relief pitcher arm as he has been, I guess, for them. since they have so much depth, so maybe they look to move him. Kind of the same thing with Victor Gonzalez here, although he's a really low overall. I don't know why he's regressing at only 26. Maybe his potential's only like a 70 or something, but a 70 lefty is still better than like a 64 overall righty, which is what we have right now. So I put him there. Same thing. Dodgers have quite a bit of depth. He's actually in the minors right now. Maybe he gets traded. And then Chafin is kind of the same thing as Loop, although I can see the Tigers being more likely to get off to a slow start and not deliver this season. But he's kind of the same deal as Chafin, just a few years younger, but signed to a 2-year deal on a team that's not really expected to be great, but I guess could be all right. The only thing is with them, they're in division, so I don't know if that means it'd be less likely he'd be traded to us. Players to shop, though, I took a little bit of a different approach this year because we have to look to the long term, and we're not just focusing on getting as good as we can this year. So the players to shop weren't necessarily just like the most valuable prospects in the organization. They were some guys that I'd be all right with getting rid of and wouldn't really factor into the future, and the guys that would factor into the future I don't want to get rid of. Now I will say the White Sox farm system, at least in this game, is not as strong as it once was. But for players to shop, we got Matt Foster, who's in the minors. He's a 65 overall. He is a B potential, though. He is 27, so he has a chance at becoming a decent arm by the time he's 30-ish, maybe. So maybe a different team would see value in that. Zach Collins, kind of the same way, even though he's a lot lower of an overall. Sox actually just traded him to kind of just a crappy catcher swap, I guess. And then we got Adam Haseley, who was just traded for, but this game put him in the minors, and I don't know. C potential, only 25, pretty decent contact and fielding numbers. Maybe a team sees value in that. And then Blake Rutherford, I just kind of threw in a fourth guy, but I don't know. C potential, only 61, 24 years old. I doubt he has any value. But that actually kind of leads me into talking about our farm system. But so we have Blake Rutherford, who I did put on the trade block at a 61 C potential. But you know who is also a 61 and a C potential? Both Miker Adolfo and Yoelqui Cespedes. They gave these guys absolutely no love. These two guys I was actually relatively excited about, like, to be on the Sox this year and see what they got, but they virtually have no value in this game this year. I mean, I don't know. C potential, obviously you can't get that good. There's a pretty low ceiling there, 79 max, and you don't even know what their C potential it is. It could be anywhere between 70 and 79. But the fact that they're already, you know, mid-20s and they have a long way to go to even reach 70, they might not even hit that potential until they're almost 30. So I don't know. I don't really see them factoring in. And then in terms of other prospects, man, there's really not much to look forward to. I mean, good thing the White Sox are a pretty young team with a young core that's still getting better, because looking to the minors, man, it's kind of bleak. I mean, Romy Gonzalez, I guess, could end up being a utility guy. We don't get to continue the legend of Danny Mendick this year because he's in the minors. The two guys, though, that are probably the best long-term potential guys maybe in the organization right now are Wes Kath and Colson Montgomery. They're honestly like the same person. I mean, if you're looking at these attributes. But yeah, other than them two, I mean, second base has got nobody to look forward to. First base has got nobody. Really, the only other prospect who has some value would be pitcher Matthew Thompson. He's a 67 overall, B potential, only 21, so he could get pretty good. But yeah, it's really just him, Thompson, and then the two third baseman prospects, and that's like kind of it. But then with untouchables, I also kind of took a different approach. Instead of just having our star players be untouchable, I went with kind of lower overall guys that I also don't want to trade and make sure we don't give up. Cease, Kopech, Crochet, and Vaughn. And then I just figure if we do have a trade pop up with any of these top guys, it's just an automatic decline. So yeah, I guess the plan is starting to take shape a little bit more, and we're definitely seeing the White Sox are in win now mode. We're not really built for the future, which will be interesting with a long-term multi-year March to October in mind. And I guess it also depends on how many years we go. But the good thing is our core is still young. We've got a lot of young guys that are good now and will be good for the next couple of years. I just think, especially for this one season in mind, it's really just that pitching we need to focus on. And for now, only the relief pitching. All right, but you've listened to me blab on plenty here before playing a game, so it's time to get into this one. We saw it at the end of last episode. It's going to be a quick one. Bottom of the ninth, we're down 1, 2 outs, but we have a chance to tie things up with a runner on second. So let's get into this one here. And I'm curious to see, actually, I guess in the past, these really quick ones don't really have too much presentation. But without Heidi Watney, I don't know. I usually like to include those little Heidi Watney reports before games, at least in the last couple White Sox March to Octobers. But if she's not there and if the commentators aren't really going to set the scene, I might just leave that stuff out this year. So what do we got so far? We got a bunch of doubles, 4 doubles. Pollock has a 3-hit day. Giolito went 6, gave up 4. Velasquez has got 3 scoreless innings in relief. Dang. So our 2 long relievers in these first 2 games have kind of shut it down. You know what? Hang on. Why am I leaving Grandal out there? That's the tying run. Let's go with Engel. I mean, if we get a base hit up the middle, we want that guy scoring with 2 outs. We don't want to have to rely on the next guy. Oh, and it doesn't matter because I struck out. Man, that sucks. I mean, not super likely we win that one with there already being 2 outs, but that also was kind of a hittable pitch too. All right, what's this gonna mean? We didn't even get to use that momentum we built up because we lose that one right away. We still have some, and we end up taking the series. We lose a series to the Royals. Wow, we lost both those last games, and now we gotta look to win this game against Detroit to not drop this series. All right, so not off to the hottest start the Guardians are. Wow, they're 8-1. Are they actually going to be a threat? Got another relatively tough spot to hop into here. We're going to be at bat with 2 outs again, but 2 on in the 8th, so at least we get an extra inning if I don't push anything across here right away, but I'd definitely like to. So yeah, no time wasted. Let's hop into the next one here. Eloy is going to be batting. That could be good. Jimenez versus Jimenez, but we got different accent marks in different places. Where do you put the stress on the syllables? Jimenez at the plate to face Jimenez. Eh? I took Spanish in high school. Oh, dude, I'm taking the first 2 pitches. What am I doing? Why did I see them both as a slider out of his hand? Like that. That's how I saw the first pitch coming in. I swung at that one. Is that getting down? Help me out, game. Thought that had a shot. Not the best swing early on an outside pitch, so we're going to have to manufacture it all on our own. Get 3 outs and score a run. I want to see Graveman. We're going to bring him in here to keep it a 1-run game, hopefully. All right, we got a chase. We're going to need a lot of chases because we're not the most accurate pitcher here. Look at this par, dude. That shaded region, that par, even if we get a perfect release, the ball can still go anywhere within that shaded region. There we go, though. We're getting a strikeout. Couldn't catch up to the sinker. Another strikeout. All right, Graveman. All right. Oh, and I left that change high, so we didn't strike out the side, but still a 1-2-3 inning to keep us in this game. And they're bringing Chafin in. We spent well, I guess if you watched only the White Sox March to October last year, you wouldn't know the legend that is Andrew Chafin. But in my next 2 March to Octobers, this dude was lights out for me. Oh my God, he's doing it to me too. Nothing but a weak grounder on a pretty good swing. Ah, my God. Chafin is tough, dude. Now I know. We do have Vaughn perfect. If there's one guy that I probably want up here, especially off the bench, we got Vaughn. Oh, it was a good battle from Vaughn, dude. But he threw nothing in the zone that whole at bat. I mean, nothing in the middle of the zone. Everything was right on the edge. All right, man. Well, I guess we're slumping a little bit here to start. 2 games in a row coming in with a deficit in the late innings, and we couldn't bring it back. Now we're going to flip to negative momentum. It's still going to be neutral. That probably won't factor into any games. It's just, it sucks to see the snowflake, you know? Lose another series, this time to Seattle. All right, what does Tampa Bay have for us? We got an Eloy player lock. All right, this is big. He's only batting .216 to start the year, 3 homers, 11 driven in. We are 5-7, not good. But Cleveland, they've started to cool down a little bit, it looks like. All right, man, but this Eloy player lock is going to be big. He's one of our better players, one of our better bats. And if we can get him a boost for this season, that would do us a lot of good. So let's hope we're facing one of these. Well, actually, I guess Eloy is better against righties, so I guess it doesn't really matter. We're facing Drew Rasmussen.
And we welcome you to the south side of Chicago and Guaranteed Rate Field. We've got baseball coming up for Jackie Robinson Day. It's the Tampa Bay Rays going up against the Chicago White Sox. Well, it's time for our player spotlight, Singy. Eloy Jimenez is a player to watch for this team this year.
He sure is, Boog. And even though he's already looking like a key contributor, he's still a young player. But most people around this organization think he's going to keep getting better and better. And I expect him to take a leap forward in his development this season. He could make a big difference for this team. So I'm excited to watch him play live in this one and see what he's got.
All right, we did get a little bit of presentation there, I guess. So we'll see what it's looking like for the whole year. All right, what do we got here? Just to make sure real quick. 4-seam slider, curve, circle, change. Seems to be a pretty hard thrower, so we got to be ready for the heat. I wasn't ready for the heat. Good start. Oh, and he gets me with that pitch. Okay, whatever, I guess. Oh, I got around on it that time. That's a pop-up? Really? I mean, yeah. I guess I would expect that to go, like, into the stands, though. Wow, he's got no energy out there. This is our chance. Our chance to just hit a weak fly out to left, I guess. I'm just not putting good swings on the ball so far in this episode. I don't know, guys. I might want to, like, cut this one a little bit short and give myself a chance to, you know, cool down a little bit, rebound, maybe start to see the ball better. I don't know if I want to play a huge chunk of this year if I'm not going to be able to hit. Alright, well, there we go. Another early swing on a fastball, but at least that one's getting through for a hit. I don't know if that's going to be enough to lock up any sort of boost, though. There's only a 1 for, what, 4? Alright, well, we pick up the win, though, 2-1. Dylan Cease must have had a good game out there. Yeah, 1 hit, little impact. We didn't get any boost. That is a shame. Look, I'm sure Eloy is going to be fine. I'm sure this isn't going to mean he's going to, like, suck or anything for the rest of the year. It just would have been nice to, you know, make him play a little bit better than he otherwise would have. Alright, but we flipped the momentum, still pretty neutral. We actually swept Tampa Bay, and now we get some good games against the Guardians, beat them 3-1 in a series. Alright, who needs momentum? We actually went on a bit of a run there. All the way up to 11-8 now, only a half game back in another late game situation down by 1. Do I dare play it? Honestly, I'm not feeling good. I'm gonna save this for the next episode. You guys might think I'm a chicken. You guys might not like this move. It might be a short episode. I don't know. Not a ton of gameplay, but I'm scared. I suck today. I'd rather, you know, come back rejuvenated, maybe be hitting a little bit better, and then, you know, we can actually get some positive momentum banked up here instead of just losing another game by 1 run. So guys, that's where I'm going to call it for this one today. Again, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're not already. I would appreciate it more than you even know, if I'm being honest. Also, make sure you leave a like for me on this one if you enjoyed it. That would also help out. I would also appreciate that a ton. But that is it for me today, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.